I can't do my project today now. It's kind of a bummer, but the way this battery is dying right now, the way it's not even keeping up, and I'm already past peak performance for the day. My peak performance was, I think, like 140 watt. I'm at 126 watts. It's just gonna go down and down and down for the rest of the day. Okay, so the solar power, I don't really understand it completely. Sometimes it's just, and I guess it's the batteries, or it's probably more than the batteries, because there's stuff that draws off the batteries. And anyway, so I really don't understand why or how the whole thing is super inconsistent. I just charged it up to 100% and it dropped back down, and it's already 115, 120, right? So for the past, I don't know, over a month of weeks, probably maybe not quite 2 months, but for a while, it's been the situation where I got to turn the generator on at about 3 o'clock. If I'm lucky, I get to go all the way to 3. Sometimes it has to run 24/7. I mean, if it's bad enough, I got to run a generator. I've run a generator, I think the longest straight I ran a generator so far was like 3 days, and it was snowing, and the snow was on the panel, and I mean, it was just like, whatever. And then after the really bad stuff, and then my generator died. Now I own 3. But anyway, the point of this little segment is that I kind of screwed myself over on my whole project today by turning the generator off too soon. I should have just been but I was like, oh, it's a perfectly sunny day, I can just turn it off and just go about my day. And then, but no, the coffee maker, the blender, that just sucked the life out of the battery. So then I had to turn on the generator. As soon as I turned on the generator, I can't do my work, right? So and now I'm literally an hour and like 10 minutes past when I wanted to start this whole thing. So I turned on the cameras and I was like getting ready to get going, and so, lesson learned. I've got to go into this whole thing with a maxed out battery, so just leave the generator on until I'm ready to start the project. But there is some other good news, because at the counter, I ordered a switch, and I said I need a 15 amp switch. Then I also said it's running an AC. And then I go, oh shoot, when I looked in there, it was 20 amps. I was like, oh man, I said 15 amps at the counter. But because I said it's for an AC, booyah, it's 20 amps. Yay. So I don't have to go back to Platt. High five, Platt. You guys rock. I love Platt. I seriously love Platt. Like, that place is just like, you go in there like me, who's just, knows just enough to be dangerous, and those dudes will just help me get right to where I need to be. I should be installing today, but I just can't make it. See, look, it's down to 85% now. I turned the generator, I swear, I don't think I'm getting an accurate, I think that might be, now that I just kind of gleamed onto this, what it might be. I don't think I'm getting an accurate reading, because I've noticed that when the battery's maxed out, charged up, it's up to like 13.6 volts, which I don't know if that's overcharged, but it goes up that high. These batteries say they're 12.8 volts, but they go all the way up to 13 point, I think I've seen it as high as 13.7 maybe, but 13.6, 13.5 regularly. So at 13.2 though, it says it's filled. I think there might be 100% might be more. How I explain this? So to this thing, 100%, but reality is there's way more on the 100%, 95%. There's more juice up there than there is down past that, right? And then there's maybe different kinds of juice in there. Maybe I sucked out one kind of juice and there's another juice. I don't know, man. I don't know why it's, right now it's at 127 watts, which is right around a third of that panel's capability. It's just because the sun is so low on the horizon right now with the flat panel mount, you're gonna have super inefficient, but it's RV, you know, there's not. Anyway, the guy I bought it from was like, do not try to make mounts and all that shit. You're just gonna, you know, and I agree. It's just, you know, you're gonna totally have a potential for problems. If a solar panel blows off the roof of an RV going down the freeway, it can kill someone. So it's a bad idea. I can't do my project today now. It's kind of a bummer, but the way this battery is dying right now, the way it's not even keeping up, and I'm already past peak performance for the day. My peak performance was, I think, like 140 watt. I'm at 126 watts. It's just gonna go down and down and down for the rest of the day, and I'm losing ground in the battery. So that 126 watts isn't keeping up with my consumption and being able to charge the battery. Quite to the contrary, I'm consuming more and I'm losing ground on the battery. And that's just weird. I guess I hit it too hard today with all that stuff, and it just sucked something out that isn't there anymore. I don't know. Because normally I can just, when the sun's like this, even though it's down in the, I'm fine. I'm not using any, like, I don't have the big computer turned on. Like, if I turn the big computer on, that'll suck some serious power. I don't have that on right now, so I don't really understand why I should be having these. I don't get it. I don't know why I'm drawing so much power right now, because it's not that cold out right now, which when it's cold, those hoses are sucking. By the time the inverter gets done, I mean, it could be up to like total like 500 watts. Could be, because apparently, depending on the efficiency rating of your inverter, which I bought probably a cheap inverter, I don't even know, because I just bought one from the guy, what he had in stock. That inverter, depending on its efficiency rating, I've seen people are just like, just add double. So if I got two hoses that are 130 watts each, they're powered by the inverter, then that is about 500, right? And then I added up everything on my desk is about the same. So I'm drawing about 1,000. Worst case scenario, just that, and then the heater kicks on and that pulls some more. It seems like there's volts and amps. I just don't understand it. Seems to be holding fast. It dropped. I turned off the generator. It started dropping. Now it's been able to hold itself. I ran the generator a lot more the second time. I figured I'd just have to bump it up. It's like there's a depth to it, you know? It's like if you really have it charged for a super long time, there's more power in there than really is letting on by the gauges. That, like, it's just gauges. And I don't have a shunt hooked up, which is something I really should have hooked up. It's just like the guy that sold me the system was like, this guy doesn't know shit, you know, and I didn't. But I wish I would have put a shunt in there, because that would have given me a lot more information to understand the situation. And I don't know if this video is fascinating anybody, but I really don't care, because this is my life story. It is what it is. So I hope nothing's getting cut out of my videos, because my life story is being told here. So everything needs to be in my life story, even though sometimes it's boring. Yeah, not exciting all the time. I mean, the stories I tell are generally have some sort of exciting or some interest or something to this effect. You know, my day-to-day stuff, but that's life, right? And I'm just speaking in general, like, oh, that was a really boring video, we needed to publish that. Well, that's not necessarily true. You know, maybe nobody will watch it, but we'll pay somebody to watch it to make a book out of it. And they'll just, you know, whatever. Or maybe someday I'll have done something that all of a sudden every single thing that ever comes out of my mouth will be fascinating because of something else I did. Who knows? This has been a solar update. I hope, you know, there's going to be a whole build video coming along with this. So I would say just wait for this whole build video and then put it all together. Or not. I don't know. So what did I do? I turned off the monitor. It's trying to take a charge right now. A little update there before I turned off, because it just bumped up for 1 second, but then it went back down. So it's just like, I'm trying to charge. Point being is, I need this to be rocking. Like the other day, I literally rolled all the way into like I didn't even need to turn the generator on when I finally turned it on. I had to turn it on to go to bed. Right? And I don't have anything different going on right now. It's just a variable within the solar. And I'm running on a tiny little solar system. Tiny. 200 amp hours, 12 volt system. One solar panel. Tiny. I burn a lot of freaking gas trying to keep up. And apparently that's a write-off, and I've been paying for it a lot with cash. Oh, dope. And the inside plug is running the computers and all the charging and everything to do with everything over here. When the sun is out and I'm getting good solar power, like today, I turn off the generator, and then if I want to use solar power to do something like make coffee or make a smoothie, then what I have here is I have an extension cord that runs over here. I just plug it into whatever I need. Blender, coffee, grinder, just plug it right in. So it works, but it's kind of not as convenient as it could be. And it only gives me power to the specific thing that I want. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a switch in that will switch the entire trailer over to the solar power. So instead of just those two plugs, everything will work. So that'll be one switch. And that's actually a really special switch because it's a 3-part switch. So down will be shore power, and that will connect the converter. But then when you move it up, the solar charger. This is a solar charger. Back there, there's the converter. It plugs into that plug up there. And it uses AC power to charge those batteries. So this thing, when the solar's charging, is charging the batteries. Then those batteries go off down through these wires here. They go all the way down to the trailer's DC system. This inverter connects to those two plugs. It's kind of interesting today though. Today was the first day in a while, maybe even the first day ever, that I ran as much on the solar as I did today. And so I woke up, turned the generator off immediately, and then proceeded to just be on solar power to grind the coffee, to make the coffee, and then, you know, my days going by, I'm dumping cards on computers, I'm watching videos, yeah, pretty much that kind of stuff for, you know, messing around on a couple computers. All of that actually with a really bright sunny day and me getting about as much sun power as I've gotten in this time of year, I was losing ground. I got my battery all the way down to 4%. And I wasn't even running the entire trailer on solar. Now I'm about ready to do all this installation, and I'm seeing that I'm using more power than I am generating on a super nice day. So this, what I'm doing, isn't necessarily going to be able to be used all the time. It's just gonna suck too much power. Like right now, just about 20 minutes ago, I ran the generator for 10 minutes because the battery was at 4%. Just like because I had, I not only I ran the blender a couple times because I didn't do dishes yesterday, so I had to actually wash the blender. So I ran the blender and then I used the blender. I used a ton of power. Seems to me that when the battery's full, it can do everything with no problem. But once it goes down to a certain level, it can't keep up. It can't charge and do all that. So it actually ends up failing and going in the wrong direction. Like I just charged it up to like 12 or up to like 70%, I think. I turned it off at 70% and I'm getting 138 watts. Like normally 138 watts would just be running the trailer, but the battery is so low that it's not able to do that. So just this is just stuff I'm learning right now. I'm not even like, this has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm doing. This, like, I'm about ready to do all these switches and wire all this stuff up. So when you take the switch and you go from, it'll turn off the converter and put the whole trailer on solar. So whole trailer's on solar, and then bam, bam, now it's back on shore power. Or negative, off and off, which that's just a safety precautions. So the converter and the inverter are not in a loop, which I've had that happen before. And trying to avoid that. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm putting those switches in. But as I'm about to do these switches today, I was like, oh, I have a perfectly sunny day and all this. The trailer's running. I turned off the solar, and the solar's not even keeping up with everything that I want to do with it. You know, make coffee, smoothies, you know, have the computer stuff running and all that. I'm still not even, like, if I would have probably left the generator running past when I did my coffee, because the coffee literally pulls the battery from 100% to 60%, just like that. If I did all the coffee stuff, then turned off the generator, I'd probably be okay right now. But like right now, I need to turn on the generator again. So I just turned it on for 10 minutes. Obviously that wasn't good. Obviously I needed to turn it on, leave it on, let it charge all the way up to 100%. And guess why this is intricate to this story, is because I can't do the wiring with the generator running. Like, all the wires I have to deal with are the shore power wires. The generator running, my whole entire build is on hold until I get this charged up, and it's holding itself on solar, which it's pretty much at the peak of the day now. Like, I literally kind of like screwed myself over on this. I just used too much of the solar before I was ready to actually do the project, that I needed the system to be running itself to do the project. So that's where we're at. Fascinating stuff. Solar build. And I'm also putting a switch on the furnace. So when you're on shore power in this trailer and you want the heat, AC fan on, it sucks all the heat up into the AC unit and then distributes it through the roof to these 3 of these things. One's in the bathroom, one's in the bedroom, and one's out here. And it just, like, you don't have a choice, right? So if you're on DC only power, the heater will run and just blow out the heater. But if you're on AC power, it demands it. So I'm putting a switch on that too. So I don't have to have the entire AC system running to have heat like when I'm right now. Like, I'm on solar power. I don't want to use that extra power. I'll just be able to turn off the furnace, turn off the AC. The furnace will still be able to work, no problem. And I will have heat, but I won't be burning a bunch of, I guess it's just like a fancy thing, like, oh, you know, turn on the furnace and get the heat distributed throughout. And honestly, I don't know if it's wasting more heat because it's pumping all the heat up into the roof, and then when you have a hot roof, where does the heat go after that? Heat rises. You want the heat down to rise up. That's kind of my thing. Now, I've kind of got used to that fan blowing. I've always had a fan blowing all night long, so it's kind of like, God, just have it running all night long. But I might just replace it with a different fan and turn that off, and I might get a lot better efficiency out of my propane heating system, because it's not, like I just said, pumping all the heat up into the ceiling. And it's just a switch. I just got to throw a switch in down here. So that's all the work I'm doing. My solar system is totally losing ground as I'm shooting this video. It just can't keep up. It works. Oh, it's so weird. It works totally different depending on where the batteries are. Like, I think what it is when it has more than 13 volts in the system, then it's more efficient. When the voltages are lower, then it has to suck. I don't know. I'm not an electrician, like, of that level of understanding. Like, how isn't really my forte. I can put it together, understand why it's working, but like all those super fine details like that, and if somebody does understand that, comment, please explain to me, unless it's huge, and then, you know, maybe link me to a video that explains it or something. But I'm open to learning, but there's a lot to learn. I was literally starting this video to just give a little intro, and then I was gonna just show all that stuff, and then I was gonna start pulling everything apart and doing it. But like I said, the system has to be running on solar for me to unwire and wire all that stuff. It's not. It's down to 28%. When I started this video 12 minutes ago, it was at 60 or 40, I don't remember. Anyway, so we will just do something else while the battery charges. Like the videos if you like them, subscribe, and comment on the video. If I ask a question that you have an answer to, please feel free to answer. Have a great day.